So I'm recording this after crashing the Scotch game. I want you guys to learn something from this game before you skip this video as usual. And don't forget to subscribe, because that's what motivates me to keep on making more wonderful videos like the one you're about to watch. Let's go. Alright, so I'm playing against a 2260 rated opponent. Against pawn to e4, I love starting with the Nimzowish defense, knight to c6. So my plan is to go pawn to e5 regardless of what white does. So that's what I'm talking about, pawn to e5. Now this has turned back into the Scotch game. Not yet the Scotch Gambit, by the way. So if I take and white takes on d4 with his knight, then this will be the Scotch game. But if I take and white plays bishop c4, that will be the Scotch Gambit. But just to show you what I was planning to do, in case white played pawn to d5 instead of knight f3, I was just simply going to relocate my queen's knight to the king's side. I've always been talking about this, but anyways, against knight to f3, I just take, waiting to see what white wants to do. Okay, so now this is the Scotch game. Okay, this is no longer a gambit. Against this, I like putting more pressure on this knight. And if, okay, good. So I wanted to say, if knight takes c6, I was going to play queen f6, threatening to checkmate on f2, and also threatening to win back with my d-pawn. So now bishop b6 is the way to go. So the way you play this is, you put your queen on f6, and then your g-knight on e7. Okay, so knight to c3 by white, knight g7 to stop knight d5 makes a lot of sense. And there we see bishop e3. But I guess I just have to cast a shot, putting my king to safety. After all, I don't see anything. If you take my bishop, I'm gonna take back with my a pawn. Okay, so there we see castle long by white. So this is now called opposite side castling, where you have to start advancing your pawns on the side of the board where your opponent's king is, as quickly as you can. And that's what I did, by the way. So bishop takes b6, pawn takes. So I played pawn to a5 in an effort to go pawn to a4. So king b1, a4. So that's what I'm talking about. And I'm the first one to reach my opponent's king. This is what you're supposed to do when your opponent castled the other way. So next I want to plant my knight on e4 and wait for white to blunder. I don't even know what my opponent should do here. Maybe knight c1. Well, there we see knight d2, so knight e4, preparing for pawn to a3 next. I don't see any problem here. I guess white is in big trouble. Maybe I kind of rushed with this move. I should have played pawn to a3 right away, but nothing is stopping me from going pawn to a3. So I'm the first one to reach the other side of the board. And now, there's a little trick here that I'm going to try on my opponent. Beginning with a move pawn to b5. This is not a free pawn because there's a checkmate on b2. And it is these little tactics that confuse a lot of beginners and intermediate level players. Not to say that my opponent is a beginner or an intermediate level player. I'm just trying to make a point. So this is just a little tactic. This is not a free pawn. Maybe white should play something like pawn to f4. Okay, pawn to e5, disconnecting my things. But I can simply go, yeah, queen b6. Now I'm thinking as if I overplayed my position. There we see bishop takes b5. Yep. Okay, maybe that was a clever way of diverting my attention from the real thing. But anyways, seems I can still play knight f5. Yeah, so knight f5, attacking the queen. But I guess white is gonna play queen f4. But I'll just have to take the bishop and continue playing normally. I guess I overplayed my position just like I mentioned, because queen f4 is coming and there's nothing that I can do about that. Or let's say queen f4, knight takes b5, and then knight takes b5, then queen takes b5, and then white takes my knight on f5. Then, okay, this is what is going to happen, you guys. By the way, I still have queen c5 and try to put more pressure on the knight, but let me just take, I wanted to go queen c5 anyways. So knight takes b5 is finally played like I anticipated. And let me just take the knight, and I expect white to take my knight on f5 as well. So queen takes f5. So let me go pawn to d6, paving way for my light squared bishop, and that's an attack on white's queen. and I also have intentions of mating my opponent on b2. I'm gonna take back with my queen anyways. So queen d3 by white. Yeah, let me just do this and then play this move, then bishop out. Okay, knight c4 is great, so queen f6 I guess, still maintaining the possibility of checkmating on b2. I can't checkmate, so queen takes f2. I mean, there's a knight on c4, right? So there was no way I was going to checkmate my opponent. And now I'm running low on time, so pawn to g3, queen h5. I'm trying to hide my queen. You know, I don't want to exchange. My only savior is the pawn on a3 at the moment, cause if I can manage to get rid of white's knight on c4, things will be a lot easier. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Now let me go rook a d8 and sacrifice my queen on f5. Yep, so that, okay, yep, good. So queen takes f1 and next queen takes e1, checkmate. That was close. Like I was supposed to lose on time, guys. I understand that this wasn't a perfect game, but at least I tried. And just to show you, queen f5 was meant to sacrifice my queen so that I could checkmate white on d1 like this, since my pawn is on a3. Well, not the perfect game in this world, but I hope you learned one or two things on how you are supposed to fight against the Scotch. I know I made some inaccuracies in the end game due to time pressure. I think I didn't do a great job. By the way, even after queen f5, Stockfish still thinks I had a slight advantage despite being low on time, but I just kept my nerves calm. Anyway, hope you liked this video, you guys. I tried my level best not to lose, but even if I lost, I was still going to post this game because the main area of my interest is the opening stage. I wanted to show you how to fight against the Scotch Gambit or the Scotch game. And if you'd love to take your chess seriously, I encourage you to follow me on Patreon through the link in the comment section down below, where I post detailed studies for my members than these short videos that I post here on YouTube. Right, hope to see you soon in my next video. Until next time, bye bye.